The Galactic Academy's emergency protocols instructor, Vex-High of the Crystalline Collective, stood before her mixed-species class with what passed for confidence among her kind. Her translucent form shimmered with nervous energy as she addressed the diverse group of young beings from across the galaxy. "Today, we practice emergency evacuation procedures," she announced, her voice resonating through the universal translator nodes embedded in each student's neural interface. "The scenario is simple: catastrophic hull breach in Section 7. You have exactly 4 minutes to reach the escape pods." The class consisted of the usual mix of Academy students. 3 Zephyrian wind dancers floated near the ceiling, their gossamer wings catching the artificial light. A pair of mollusk engineers sat in their specialized moisture suits, their eye stalks swiveling nervously. The titanium-based geometric twins processed the information with mechanical precision, their cubic heads rotating in perfect synchronization. And then there was Marcus. The human sat quietly in the back row, appearing unremarkably average compared to his exotic classmates. His simple bipedal form and basic carbon-based biology made him seem almost primitive among the more advanced species. Most of the other students had initially assumed he was from some backwater agricultural world. They couldn't have been more wrong. "Remember," Vex-High continued, "safety is paramount. Follow all marked pathways, utilize handrails, and maintain orderly progression. No rushing, no panic." The alarm klaxons suddenly blared, filling the chamber with their urgent wail. Red emergency lights bathed everything in an ominous glow. The simulation had begun. The alien students immediately began their careful, methodical evacuation procedures. The Zephyrians gracefully glided along the ceiling rails. The mollusk engineers activated their emergency mobility assists, propelling themselves forward with measured aquatic movements. The geometric twins calculated optimal routes and began their precisely timed mechanical march. Marcus simply stood up and walked toward the nearest wall. "Student Richards." Vex-High called out in alarm. "You're going the wrong direction. The exit corridor is clearly marked." Marcus didn't respond. Instead, he placed his hands against what appeared to be a solid metal panel and pushed. His muscles tensed, veins standing out along his forearms. The reinforced emergency barrier, designed to withstand the vacuum of space, groaned under the pressure. And then it buckled. Metal screamed as Marcus tore a hole large enough for a person straight through the bulkhead. Sparks flew from severed power conduits, but he seemed completely unbothered by the electrical discharge that would have killed most species instantly. The other students froze in horror and amazement. "Impossible," whispered one of the geometric twins, its voice box crackling with static. "Those barriers are rated for 12 atmospheres of pressure differential." Marcus glanced back at his classmates, sweat beading on his forehead but otherwise appearing completely calm. "Anyone else coming? This is way faster." The Zephyrians trembled in their aerial positions. But the safety protocols. "Sometimes the safe way isn't the fast way," Marcus replied, stepping through his improvised exit. "And sometimes fast is what keeps you alive." One by one, his classmates began following him through the hole he'd created. Even Instructor Vex-High, her crystalline form flickering with what could only be described as shock, floated through the breach. They reached the escape pod bay in 47 seconds. Later, in the post-exercise briefing room, Vex-High struggled to process what she'd witnessed. Her species had spent millennia developing sophisticated safety protocols, advanced materials, and fail-safe systems. The idea that someone could simply ignore all of that and brute force their way through a crisis was fundamentally alien to her worldview. "Student Richards," she finally managed, "your homeworld's classification, it wouldn't happen to be listed as a Class 12 death world, would it?" Marcus shrugged. "Yeah, Earth's pretty rough. Gravity's about 3 times standard, we've got weather patterns that could level cities, and most of our native fauna evolved specifically to kill things. But you adapt, you know." The other students stared at him with new understanding. No wonder he seemed so calm under pressure. He'd grown up on a planet that was actively trying to kill him every single day. Vex High made a note in her files, recommendation, Death World species exempt from standard safety training. They are the safety training.